Hello, everyone, and welcome to what I guess I'm gonna call this series D&D horror stories. I've seen a lot of these videos, and I want to maybe start making my own, see how people feel about them, and so on. So, without further ado, we are going to be reading a D&D horror story. Player says, I'm allowed to cheat because my character is a wizard. And this is from Toxic Casual. Long-time lurker, first-time poster. I run a D&D 5e campaign with some friends I have known for a long time. It's a small group of three. Three regular players with some occasional guest players. The campaign is well into 2 years. Homebrew setting, but fairly strict to 5e rules. I put out a primer at the beginning of the campaign, allowing one or two small things from Critical Role and the statement will establish homebrew settings. Items/spells such as from Critical Role must be approved by DM beforehand. Don't show up with a subclass I have no book for the day that you level. Enter the player. This player is a good friend of mine. He runs some other games that I'm a part of. I would never go so far to say that he is a problem player, but he has some tendencies that make him difficult to manage and entertain. He has a bit of a epic main character complex. If the player isn't overpowered and winning, then he gets frustrated and uninterested. At times he forgets that the purpose of D&D is to experience the story, not to win at D&D. We've butted heads several times on balance issues, and the player will tie up my time and hold up the game until I decide to make his wizard more powerful. The previous one was about comparing his wizard's blade singing with a druid's wild shape. I explained to him in simple terms that while magic in nature, neither one of them is the result of a spell. Therefore, dispel magic would not affect either of them. They argued and took up half an hour of our already short 3-hour playtime that Druid Wild Shape should be affected by Dispel Magic, but not blade singing. Don't get started with me, I know. The latest one that just has me fuming was a petition to allow Widow Gas transmogrification from Critical Role. I read it carefully, considered the advantages and drawbacks, and made my judgment. The player said that for roleplay purposes, he'd like his human wizard to change into an elf. I explained that, per the spell description, he would lose human traits and gain elf traits. That means his character would lose his free human feat and skill. That was a point of conflict. The player insists that there's no way race change would cause you to lose knowledge. I countered with 2 points. First, he claimed this was for roleplay purposes, so why is he getting hung up on the mechanics? Second, this causes balance issues. Once per game year, you could just change races and collect traits, which is practically cheating. The player's mask slipped at this point. His response was, yeah, it's cheating. It's called magic. Magic is cheats. With enough magic, I should be able to do just about anything. At this point, I was frustrated and just wanted to move on, so I offered this. Either use the spell as intended and as described, or use it cosmetically. Your character casts the spell and becomes an elf, in appearance only, but permanently. Cannot be dispelled. No other trait changes, just for the sake of my sanity. The player refused. I abruptly ended the conversation, and that's where we're at. I kind of don't know. Sorry, I kind of don't want to DM anymore. Oh, that's sad. I'm not looking forward to the next game. I kind of want to just kick him out, but then his spouse will quit as well, and the game will fall apart basically. If I want to continue playing, I have to give the player what he wants every time he feels like he's not winning. That sucks, my friend. I look, toxic casual. The way you word this makes me feel like he's gone away with a lot of things in the past, and he kind of oversteps his boundaries all the time with you. And you, I hate to tell you, but the thing you need to do is put your foot down. You need to tell him no, and that it is cheating. Imagine a fighter who gets every trait over the course of many years of D&D gameplay, every trait of being a dwarf, being a elf, being a shifter, being a yuan-ti. Oh, that'd be insane to have someone have essentially every trait from every race. And for him to just be like, yeah, what do you expect? That's too much, my guy. And you shouldn't have to deal with that. As for like him having his spouse there and stuff, yeah, it's a little complicated. But if the spouse is level-headed and understands the situation, I think they wouldn't just leave as well. Like, if anything, they should be able to take your side on it. If they don't see it as cheating, then they are also part of the problem. So, at least that's my advice with this story. Bonus story. This is, again, from D&D Horror Stories, and this is Obnoxious Couple Almost Ruins Group for Me. This is from Level Ordinary 6162. I, 27 male, am the forever DM. Dude, I feel you. For my playgroup, and I have 2 players, a couple, who really irritate me. One, 25 male, rolls really poorly and makes it everyone's problem, getting upset, leaving the table, and pouting on my couch. But the real problem, female 26, likes to question everything I do. For example, her boyfriend once rolled a nat 20 on a nature check to identify a monster. However, this monster had never existed in the world. They were in, so there was no way he would know what this creature was. So instead of telling him what I was going to give them, I gave them a lot of information about it. Before I could even get out, "You don't recognize this creature," she interrupts me with, "That's not how a nat 20 works." Alright, okay. You didn't know what I was about to say after that, so whatever. In a different Wild West campaign, my friend was running around the same time. Around the same time, I asked if I could start out with a gun. Before my friend could answer, she cuts them off with a loud no. On top of that, on a Wild West campaign, no guns. On top of that, while everyone else was making evil characters, mine was lawful evil, her boyfriend's was neutral evil. She goes with chaotic good. Fast forward, and I'm running a water deep dragon heist campaign for this group. One she decided not to play in and instead wanted to watch. Well, one of the first encounters the players have is with a mind flayer who is trying to run away from them. I cannot stress this enough. I did not include myself, and it was running away. She interrupts the whole session and says, "You're having them fight the mind flayer? They're level 1. Why would you do that?" Fast forward again, and we're playing a campaign I had run with a separate group. This other group was composed of 4 level 1 new players, so the encounters were designed with that in mind. The new players blew through these encounters so fast I had to change the last few to make them a bit more difficult. But when I play them with my regular group, 5 level 1 players who have all had years of experience in the game, I almost one-shot her boyfriend with a series of unlucky rolls. It was an unlucky one on his part and a 20 on mine. If it wasn't for me coming up with some DM bullshit, he would have died. They both get very upset with me and proceed to bully me into letting them level up. I even found a comment of his complaining about it on TikTok. Obviously, this frustrates me to no end. I've been considered dropping those 2 from my campaigns for a while, but I'm worried that the rest of the group would stop playing, as well as I'd hate to have to find a new group. Any advice? My advice? Drop them. They seem like horrible people. They seem like they're not having fun. They seem like they don't know the rules. They seem like they don't really care about your games. And it seems like that they bully you, but they do it together, which is not okay. It sucks, but I do think you should just drop them. Or talk to them, but I don't think they'll listen. I don't think they'll understand how frustrated you are. I don't think they'll think they're doing something wrong. And I don't think they really care. But you can always talk to them. That being said, these are just a couple of stories. I wanted to start out. I kind of just picked the ones I kind of had interest in. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.